Hello, and welcome to the June 2nd, 2000 edition of Newswatch. I'm Shantara Anderson.
And I'm Brandon Shryak. Coming up on our last edition for this quarter, find out what it means if your kids can't afford to go to college.
Plus, what do failing school bonds mean for the future of our schools?
And we'll have a look at your 5-day forecast to see if there will be any sun in the future.
All this and more coming up next. Breaking news tonight. The Ellensburg Police Department anti-crime team caught 3 men after they triggered an alarm while robbing a concession stand. Recent burglaries at the Ellensburg Park's Rotary Youth Baseball concession caused the team to investigate the area. EPD is charging the 3 men with secondary burglary. The anti-crime team also found narcotics at the scene.
Closure of Morgan Middle School was one of 4 ideas discussed at a special school board meeting. Among other ideas are possible renovation, combining the middle school with the high school, or a complete re-election. A full renovation would cost around $2.2 million. School Board President Chuck Whale says the big question is whether or not to invest in Morgan Middle School.
Lawmakers decided that education needed to take another hit on top of budget cuts and tuition hikes for higher education. Now teachers in the K-12 arena face a pay cut over the next 2 years.
That's very true, and I had the opportunity to follow one Ellensburg High School teacher around for the day. Let's take a look at the potential impact this has on education as a whole. Ellensburg High School social studies teacher Marco Bicchieri feels the strain of the state budget right alongside college students. Inside his classroom, you will find a friendly, positive learning environment. However, he isn't your typical teacher, as he also heads the local teachers union as president. Marco, along with all teachers across the state, now face a 1.9% pay cut over the next 2 years. Yet he must continue to improve the quality of education for his students with less and less compensation. He says that as the state expresses the value of education, their decisions will have long-term impact.
It's also a bit of a hit because you keep feeling like, wait, education's so important, you're not doing enough. Well, we're going to cut you. Oh, we need young, new, smart teachers. Well, it's going to be less attractive. So that's a little bit hard. There's a cumulative kind of morale and financial aspect.
The state of Washington expects teachers to produce an individualized experience in the classroom for all students. However, with limited resources and now a pay cut to teachers' salaries, we have to wonder, will students experience a cookie-cutter education that produces graduates but doesn't necessarily set them up for future success? Teachers also have concern for a growing importance of athletics and not academia.
Our standards for remaining eligible are higher than the state standards a little bit, but still, I feel like I don't have kids enough, and since our district policy is not to penalize kids for missing, unless you have a certain oral participation policy, I need to take my extra time to tutor kids through.
Although this is the case, you have to wonder, after wage freezes, cost of living adjustment freezes, and now pay cuts, how long will teachers like Marco stick around?
World map, physical.
Teachers aren't the only ones feeling the budget crunch. High school seniors are looking at increasing college tuition costs. Newswatch reporter Kevin Rounce has more.
Dylan Gasper is like many high school seniors in Ellensburg and around the country, doing homework as he counts down the days until graduation. Of course, graduating is just the first step as he looks ahead to his future.
Also, I've wanted to go to college because I want to become a doctor, and to become a doctor, you can't just start working at an internship or something. You have to go to school for a number of years, and it takes time, and you need to be put in the work before you can get the actual job.
Dylan is like a lot of high school seniors, being asked to pay an increasingly higher burden to go to college.
In fact, Central Washington University here in Ellensburg has increased tuition 14% each of the past 2 years, and they're looking at another double-digit increase when the Board of Trustees meets this month. How can high school kids continue to pay this higher and higher cost for higher education? Central Washington University Financial Aid Counselor Heather Jones explained what seniors can do as they prepare to pay for college.
Well, there's a couple of things. The very first thing is filing the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, as early as possible. It's first available on January 1st of that year, and usually the priority deadline is anywhere from March 1st to March 15th, depending upon the school.
She also mentioned Running Start as a way to reduce costs. Scholarships on websites like washboard.org and fastweb.com are also important. AmeriCorps volunteers can win service awards. Military enlistees or ROTC programs can have tuitions covered. And sites like upromise.com take everyday purchase to help pay for college. Even for an excellent student like Dylan, who is in the top 10% of seniors at EHS, an award-winning journalist who is one of the editors of the school newspaper, and a starter for the football team, seniors will need all the help they can get, and he has some advice for others looking to get a head start.
Like start applying for scholarships now, like over the summer and stuff, and also just to be involved in clubs and activities to stay active and be in leadership as well, because being in like an officer position helps for balancing all those things and looks a little bit better.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Kevin Rounce. Not directly.
Travel to Waco, Texas in the fall to attend Baylor University. Good luck, Dylan. Coming up after the break, learn how the snowpack will affect your water supply this summer.
Plus, Newswatch reporter Tara Klecki shows you where a potential hiking trail might lead. All of this and more coming up in 90 seconds.